Alright, hey guys, Aquatic Bobs. Tonight, a little video. Hold on, I think I always say tonight, whether it's day or night, whatever. Anyways, it really is tonight, getting dark out. Sorry, I got my orange filter on. But tonight's video, just a quick update on my nutrients issue slash excitement slash project. And I'm also going to show you guys, a lot of people have a lot of different questions that I guess I don't really normally think about, but I remember what it was like at different phases of my journey to wonder, what are other people feeding? How do they feed? How much do they feed? What does their feeding consist of? What does it look like? What equipment are they using? How do they set their equipment up? So I know I've put out a few videos in the past, but I want to do some more recent ones. And tonight I just, with the update, want to touch a little bit on feeding, just shortly. So this is just a little jar with some tank water in it, and that's half a cube of marine cuisine, just frozen fish food from Petco. I also feed omega-1 marine pellets. Here's more. These are just the mini ones. They sink. These are the large. I also feed the, I'm not even going to try to say it, but I think it is Hikari. Yep, Hikari up in the corner there. More marine pellets, carnivore pellets. Usually feed pellets 2 times a day. A generous amount with my tank too. And then I also feed frozen food once a day, usually in the evening. And like 2 or 3 times a week I add Reef in with it. These guys. And I put in, let me show you. So most of you guys know I have a 120 gallon tank. Total system volume, including the sump below, I would guess about 115 to 120 gallons of actual water. So this is a teaspoon, and this teaspoon is about how much Reefroids I have been putting into my tank 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, quite a bit actually. I know I know some of you are probably just floored, but I'm telling you, like, my nutrients just stay low. I have a lot of coral in here that just suck it up. And a heavy out with my protein skimmer and GFO for phosphates and carbon. But the other thing that I want to show you is that my dog ticks me off when she barks. Bad dog, honey. Who's barking? She just knows what she does is wrong, but she does it anyways. Okay, back to the tank. This, I feel like this is kind of like, I love Acro Power. I just love it. So I got a gallon jug. It was like $70 or something. I think you're supposed to shake it really good before you use it. Oh, take the top off, and then okay, this is where things get dicey. I don't measure, okay? I just add in a little bit to mix with the food, because I know that some of this food is going to get like caught up in the coral and they're going to eat some of it. So I know that some of that Acro Power is going to go straight into the coral, to their mouths. And then hopefully what's left of it, some of it will be absorbed by the coral. So let's give a few minutes for this food to break down. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I kind of cheated and broke it up a little bit quicker with my drop feeder tube or whatever. But yeah, so then I just dump in a little bit. So when I feed Reefroids, I actually will shut off my return pump and close the check valve on it so no water drains out. That way everything that I add to the main display just keeps cycling through and nothing goes through the overflow in the back into the filter sock and protein skimmer and gets pulled out. So that way, and I usually leave it out for about an hour. That way all the coral in the tank has an opportunity to eat within a reasonable amount of time, because most of us know that coral doesn't eat very quickly, but they're prolonged eaters. So if you give them a little bit of time, they'll be able to grab more and they'll be able to physically eat more. I think Bulk Reef Supply said, Ryan and Randy did a video talking about how coral gets about 70 to 80% of its food comes from photosynthesis, and the remaining 20 to 30% comes from actual food. So if let's just say 75%, that's a C. You know, we look at C as average on a report card for those of you who are Americans. I really don't know what it's like in England or other countries, so you'll have to do the research. But a C it's just average. B is above average. A is excellent or exceeding. We want to get into the A range. We want to be in the 90 to 100%. We want to make these coral happy, fat, and healthy. So we give them the right light, and we give them the right food, and we give them the food that they want. And so, yeah, I like to shut off the pumps and let them be able to suck some extra up for a little while. Because I'm just feeding frozen food right now, I'm not going to turn the return pump off, because most of this kind of either sinks or the fish gobble up instantly. But yeah, I love feeding. I love watching the fish just go crazy. I love watching some of the corals. You can see this guy already is sticking his feeding tentacles out. We're going to get, that's all cyano down there. We're going to get to that in just 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Here, I'll just dump the rest of this in quick. I'll just give the cup a little rinse. But, okay, let's get to the kind of meaty part of the video. Set that over there. Okay, so if you guys watched my last video, you'll know that my nutrient thing has been an issue. I went on vacation and I came back and my tank had bottomed out nutrient wise, and it was getting lower and lower for a while, because something in my mind was like, oh, I gotta feed less, I'm overfeeding. And based on the coral color, my mind got tricked somehow into thinking that the corals were overstimulated and the zooxanthella was getting too populated and dense. But really what was happening is some of the corals were actually paling out a little bit. It was a powerful lesson I had to learn, but now I know it for life. And I know what to look for. I know the colors to notice. And it's something that I learned, and I'm grateful for another good lesson. It sucks, yes, and some of my really nice corals don't look as nice. They're still alive, and actually a lot of them, the lower the phosphates are, the faster a lot of corals will actually grow. Phosphates are kind of like a poison to corals, in the sense that higher phosphates means that the zooxanthella and the coral, there's some science about it where it can't actually process, don't quote me on this, it can't process something that it's supposed to process. I'm sorry, on the spur of the moment, I probably should have wrote this down. I didn't even think I was going to share it, but so it's not like actually poisonous, but it's like, it's not the best thing that we want for the corals, because it can actually stunt out your corals' growth. Too high of phosphates. Now again, every tank is different. I've seen some tanks grow with 0.3 phosphates and still be healthy and happy. And then I've seen some tanks, my tank, just boom with growth at 0.02 phosphates. So again, every tank is different. But going back to the point, my tank bottomed out in nutrients. So the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've elevated the nutrients back up. Right now I'm at 5.5 nitrates and 0.11 the last time I checked. It went up to 0.15, but now it's at 0.11 phosphates. And honestly, it's kind of cool, because you see how blotchy that is, the cyano at the base of the corals. Before, it looked a lot more like that. So what this tells me is that it's already working. The cyano is already dying off and being outcompeted by the bacteria in the tank, the beneficial bacteria. So that is super cool to me to see how quick the changes have actually taken place in this tank. Just how much elevating nutrients a little bit can have a positive outcome. So that's kind of my update for now. I don't want to go too much into it. I know those of you who are still with me and have actually watched the video all the way through, thank you. If you've skipped to this point, I hope you learned something or have been able to share in some of my experience. Ultra low nutrient systems are kind of dangerous, and just because there's cyano, it doesn't mean it's terrible. It's not the end of the world. Cyano is just ugly, but it's not like damaging unless it gets to the point where it starts to grow over the edge of some of your corals, and in which case then yes, that can be very bad for your tank and for your corals. And that was starting to happen in this tank a little bit. You can even see on the rocks, like, there's a lot of cyano in here. It was just having a good time, being happy. But yeah, we're getting rid of it. And today, last note is I also cut up some corals. I fragged some torches. On the left here, we got the is it New York Knicks torches. I just cut these up probably about 3 hours ago, 3-4 hours. Then we got 4 chunks of Dragon Soul torches. And then we got 2 chunks, and both of these are one head. Actually, the back one is 2 heads, and the big head on the right is splitting again. This one's just one head that's kind of splitting. But yeah, and frag those up. Also cut some more mushrooms. The mushrooms are just, it's so nice. These mushrooms just love my tank. They love everything that's been going on in here. They're everywhere. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but thanks again for watching. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You mean a lot to me. I look forward to doing videos again. For a while in the winter, I almost feel like I got a little bit depressed and just kind of worn out. And I forgot how much I appreciated looking forward to the comments and some of your guys' tips and advice and just some of your thankfulness, some of the things that you guys have shared because of Aquatic Bob's YouTube channel. And last but not least, I could just keep talking and rambling on forever. Last but not least, my dad wants to start this business selling coral, and he's thinking of the name Arctic Corals. Probably because we live in northern Minnesota and it's cold like 8 months out of the year here. It has kind of a nice ring to it, but everyone else that I've brought it up to is like, no, Arctic corals don't grow in the Arctic, and this and that, and being all logical and but anyways, so yeah, if you guys want, go ahead, shoot out some names that you would recommend. But also, if you guys appreciate these videos and you enjoy our time together here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. I seriously, I read every single comment. And some of the comments where, you know, people I can tell are looking for a response, I try to respond to as many as I can. I have people that message me almost every day. I spend time responding to people who reach out and message me. I care. I know as the channel continues to grow and gets bigger and bigger, it's going to be kind of difficult. But I do care about you guys, and I want you to be successful. I want you to be happy with your tanks and feel comfortable. And if I can share something with you and help you learn and from my mistakes and just me being real about what's going on, then that's something that I'm willing to do, even if it's humiliating for me in the time. But yeah, so all right, that's it. I gotta go. Aquatic Bob's out.